And well, this is not the first time that such a tragedy has struck a temple town in Andhra Pradesh. In fact, this is the second such deadly incident just this year alone. And the fact that it has happened again. In January 2025, it was Tirupati, where a stampede had happened during token distribution, and you would all remember that. And of course, in November 2025, Srikakulam, when the stampede on the occasion of Ekadashi has happened. Remember, in today's incident, 9 lives have been lost. That included 8 women and 1 child. 2 people who are critically injured, and we don't know if they'll survive. But we see how the cops and the government are distancing themselves, calling this a private temple. Let me take this to my colleague Apurva, who has been tracking all the developments on the ground to get a sense of what had happened. At approximately 11:30 is the time that has been said of when the stampede occurred, and what followed, Apurva.
Well, Suresha, in fact, what has happened is that this tragic incident had taken place earlier this morning, and in this tragic incident, over 9 people have lost their lives, including children. And what we are getting to learn is that this, in fact, had taken place. One of the 3 things that the government is pointing out is that there had been major lapses on part of the temple authorities. Number one, this was a private temple wherein it means that there has been proper SOP and protocol that has been set in place for private temples should they need any kind of such kind of gatherings to take place. They need to alert authorities, be it the district administration or the district police, which these temple authorities had failed to do so. Number 2, they're talking about how there hadn't been proper entry or exit points for the devotees who had gathered there. Remember, this temple has been newly constructed. It's less than a year old, and it has a single entry and exit point. So imagine, if it's 10 to 15 devotees that are coming in, then yes, it's quite doable to have a single entry and exit point. But when you're seeing these mass number of devotees who are gathering there, given that it's the auspicious occasion of Ekadashi, why was it that the temple authorities had failed to inform district administration? Even when they saw the numbers that were increasing during the day, why was it that they had failed to alert any of the authorities? That's the second question that is being posed. The third question there that comes in is that this temple in question was still remaining in construction. That's the point that is being picked up as well. In fact, the district SP there, who has spoken to India Today, confirms that there hasn't been either prior permissions nor was there any arrangement that had been requested by the temple authorities there, be it ambulances that should be kept on standby as per the SOP protocol that was to be followed, or a bandobast of police there so that these kind of crowds will be properly managed. No request had come in. In fact, what we are getting to learn is that there hadn't been any kind of intimation or alert that was even given that this kind of celebration was being taken place at this particular temple. Let me remind you, this temple is still under construction, and it is at this construction part, neither had there been any barricades that had been there to avoid devotees
And this
from
is
going to that
absolutely
temple.
appalling, Apurva, that there are still no set of guidelines or SOPs in place to be able to have a congregation of this nature. I want to thank you for joining us with the latest details. As we now seek answers from our panelists joining us on the broadcast, I'd like to introduce Mr. Sanjay Sahai, former IPS officer, Mr. Pattabi Ram Komareddy, who is the national spokesperson for the TDP, and Margani Bharat Ram, who is former MP, YSRCP, national spokesperson for the YSRCP. Very good evening to all you gentlemen. Mr. Sahai, I want to come to you first, sir, to understand what is your assessment of what happened today, and why is it that we continue to see a repeat of such incidents? Why don't we learn our lesson?
An act of fate turned out to be a very cruel act of fate. So that is in crux the whole story. Now, there's a standard reaction which happens in all these stampedes. And the standard reaction is create a smoke screen. If you create a smoke screen, everybody can get away. Now we are talking of different stakeholders, and the first stakeholder supposedly happens to be the temple administration. Is there a temple administration in that temple? So, for my best of my understanding, there is no temple administration. This temple has been operational for last 1.5 years. Might be they would have gone through the last Ekadashi also. The endowment department says that they have not given whatever affiliation or registration or license, whatever. Then how was this allowed to function? Next is the building. The building is incomplete. The building is incomplete. The temple, which I can call as a money spinner, so that is on. So in an incomplete building by private people, you can run a temple, operate it for 1.5 years without anybody knowing of it. So this is the temple administration. Coming to the government side of it, we'll start with the police first. So the police, when 10,000, 20,000 people congregate in a small town, might be just a village. So there 20,000 people congregate and the police expects that somebody will go to them with a formal letter and request them to come as if somebody is requesting them to come for the daughter's marriage.
Exactly.
I just fail to understand from where this thought process is coming. And every single stampede we hear, listen to the same story. The Bangalore stampede, I think it was weird in a manner that it was very, very difficult to comprehend for any sane man, leave aside a professional police officer. So police intelligence zero. I was told that one of the TV channels informed the SP that something of this nature has happened. If the SP is unaware of the fact that 10,000, 20,000 people are gathering, then I think it's very difficult to make out as to how things run. As far as Mr. Chandrababu Naidu is concerned, we are forced to take names now because of the way things have been happening all around the place. It happened in Tirupati. It happened in Tirupati. Now you're talking about permission was not taken. What is the nature of permission required in Tirupati? It has been going on and on and on. Let me tell you, it is sheer carelessness. And our political class and the bureaucratic class, they talk of zero tolerance, right? Now, zero tolerance should come to them. The Home Minister needs to go, the whosoever, they need to go. And whosoever is
Right.
talking about the protocol, let that person bring the protocol. Here we will see the protocol.
Right. Mr.
These
Sahai,
are
Mr. Sahai, we also have the TDP on the broadcast today. Mr. Patabi Ram, how can the TDP possibly distance itself from what has happened and not take moral responsibility? I mean, when a devotee is entering a temple, they don't enter it thinking whether it's private or public. And you are going on to say that because it was a private temple, you had no control over it when 15,000 people have come to that temple?
First of all, it is a very sad and unfortunate incident that had happened today at Kasibugga Venkateswara Swamy Temple. We express our deepest condolences to the members of the family who have lost their loved ones. And the second thing is, immediately after the news came out, the Honorable Chief Minister himself had reacted immediately. He had directed all the district top officials and also his cabinet ministers to rush to the spot. The local MLAs and all, they all went there. Additional ambulances were sent, and people who are grievously injured were immediately shifted to the nearby hospitals. And our Honorable IT Minister Sri Lokesh and the Honorable Home Minister Anita Garu also have reached the spot, and they are there taking stock of the situation and to ensure that the entire situation will be under control. So our primary focus now is to attend to those who have been injured and to save their lives. And the second thing is, yes, there will be a strong inquiry into this. As we all know, this temple was built by a private individual called Mukunda Panda, and he had built it in his own land. And this temple is being run from the past few months, not from the past 1.5 or 2 years. And even he, while addressing the media, he himself had said that this is the first time such a huge crowd has come to his temple, which is still under construction. So there was no information given to the government regarding the rituals that are taking place today. And as today being Ekadashi, even the temple organizers were unaware about this kind of a crowd coming to have a darshan of Lord Venkateswara. So all those details and what actually happened, whose negligence is responsible, will come out in the inquiry that has already been ordered. And the Home Minister is there herself taking stock of the situation. And the second thing is this government. I mean, I would like to request Mr. Saha, former IPS, who's there on the panel. This government's concern about people's lives You can see it in the manner we have handled the recent Cyclone Manta, when he had
Sir,
struck a
you
deadly
cannot state
cyclone.
other examples to
No, no,
justify
before,
this
no,
particular
he had made,
incident, this particular tragedy.
he had made some sweeping statements saying that, this government is not concerned about people's lives and they don't react and all.
I'm talking
You have
about
to,
crowd
no,
management.
no, yes, see, we are the kind of alertness that is there on the government's part, the kind of, the manner in which the Honorable CM always attends to any
Okay.
kind of calamities or tries to save people's lives was evident from many occasions. And the recent example is Cyclone Manta. And the second thing is, this is not the time, to do some kind of
Okay.
mudslinging on each other. We
Okay.
are now focusing
Mr.
on
Margani Bharatram also wants to
addressing the
make his
situation.
point, sir, and I request you to please stay on. Mr. Margani Bharatram, the TDP is saying that they did their bit and the YSRCP is simply politicizing at a time as sensitive as this. But what about seeking answers, what they should have actually done?
See here, this tragedy is complete the failure of this coalition government. It's complete sheer negligence of Mr. Chandrababu Naidu. See, Mr. Sanjay Saha has clearly mentioned, where is the crowd management? See, is this a wedding or anything that invitation has to be given to the police department? Don't they have any intelligence? When 15 to 20,000 people are gathering in a temple, it's a bond responsibility of the police department to provide security protection there. So they are simply blaming it's a private temple, that nothing is for this government. See, and let me correct you. You have mentioned about the Tirupati temple. There were 6 people were found dead in Vaikunta Ekadashi. That's complete lapses. And the second incident was happened in Chandanotsavam at Simhachalam. 8 people were killed. This is all man-made murders. I call them as the man-made murders. See, these people don't have any kind of responsibility, and they're just blaming the private people. It's a private temple. How about the intelligence for the police department and the government? When there were around 15 to 20,000 people, devotees are gathering once in a closed circuit. And why don't they have the responsibility? And they are simply blaming the private people. See, this is third in a row. This is the third in a row. These kind of incidents been happening. Here, one thing is very clear: the holy places,
Right.
definitely on the auspicious days, generally the devotees will gather in thousands in number. And
Right.
why is this government? Why is this government still ruling in Andhra Pradesh? It's a complete responsibility of the government to provide protection for the people. The people should go to them and ask for the protection or what? And this TDP gentleman is simply blaming the private people. And Mr. Chandrababu Naidu also, in a public meeting, he mentioned it's a
Mr.
private temple.
Bharat,
It's nothing to do
Mr.
with the
Bharat,
endowments department.
we know your
Then
track
why is
record.
this government still
We know
running?
your
Okay,
track record
okay,
of
okay.
these
Third
things.
Mr.
time.
Pattabiram,
This
you
is
quickly
know
make
your
your
track
point.
record
After that,
of
I want to
these
bring in
things.
Mr. Sahai.
See, I don't
This
want
is
to make
third in a
political
series.
comments.
See,
I don't
it
want
was
to
happened
make
in
political
Tirupati,
comments
it
now.
was happened in
People have seen how
Simhachalam,
you
and
handle.
now it is
People
happened in
have seen
Kasibugga,
how you
Srikakulam.
handle natural
So why
calamities,
is
how
this
you
been
handle
happening?
emergency
Is this
situations,
not the
and how
negligence
much
of
you
this
care about
government?
people's lives.
Is this
People
not the
have seen
negligence
how
of
much
this
you care
government?
about people's lives. You
You
don't
Okay.
have to
don't
teach
talk
us
all
lessons.
this. See,
Your
see,
leader, your leader, let
see,
him enjoy in his
instead,
Bangalore palace. We have seen
what
how
are you
much
talking
concern he
here?
is.
You talking nonsense on
Recent
this.
Mr.
cyclone,
Pattabiram,
You
one
should have
second,
recent
sir. This is not the
responsibility
cyclone,
time
on
to
he
this.
didn't
defend
even
yourself, and
care.
that is how you
In the
state one
recent
example
on
after
this.
the other.
he
Okay, I
didn't
want to
even
bring in
care
Mr. Sahai.
to go and
Gentlemen,
meet
one
people.
second. I want to bring in Mr. Sahai. For the cops to say that permission was not taken, how is it that they possibly get away with this? Because in a congregation like this, I mean, this also shows as a high density zone. And for a temple of this nature, it's not like 15,000 people magically just appeared one day and the cops did not know about it. To have drones, to have proper arrangements, it is their responsibility.
They are able to get away because the powers that we support them is as simple as this. Otherwise, you saw the fate of the Bangalore police commissioner. First day, the government supported him. After 2-3 days, depending on the pressure, he was out. And this is a city with our spokesperson from the party, not the government. We don't have a government spokesperson system in India. So this particular town senses 2011, there the population is 57,507. In such a place, if 10,000 people come out of the blue, police have to be literally blind not to realize that something is happening in that particular town. Let's bring clarity to this whole debate. We have nothing to do what the political dispensation
Sahai.
is.
Exactly.
What I'm
Sahai.
worried about, let me complete. What I'm worried about, that only you take from January this year, January 6, 2025, January 29, 2025, February 15, May 3, May 6, May 29, May 27, September 27, and today. And none of these governments are responsible for any of the tragedies. And I have appeared for nearly all these debates on nearly all the channels. So that is where we stand. The Karnataka SOP is still not out. Why should I go to AP? The Karnataka SOP is still not out.
Right.
And Revant Reddy was completely against that. We had the cine actor Stampede there.
Okay.
Correct.
I quickly, because I'm very short on time, that is why I want to bring Mr. Pattabhiram into it. Single entry and exit point. It was not functioning because it was under construction. It opened after 4 months. And technically the structures, there was no certificate, no audit that was conducted. I mean, how is it that you possibly get away with this when due process is not followed by the district administration?
See, the fact of the matter is, first thing is there was no precedence of such a huge crowd visiting this temple. This temple opened only 4 months ago. Even the organizers were not aware of, handling. They're not, used to handling such huge crowds. First time this temple, after opening, witnessed such a huge crowd. But the problem is where the problem of the matter is the temple organizers, before conducting some kind of rituals on such an auspicious day, should inform the local authorities. Without informing the local authorities, without intimating the local departments and all, if they just carry out with these kind of rituals without any precedence. See, as Mr. Sahai had said, if there was a precedence, for suppose this temple also witnessed this kind of a crowd last year, yes, then the responsibility lies with the government also, because there is a precedence of people in thousands visiting this temple. But here there is no precedence. No one expected to witness such a huge crowd.
No.
So yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Closing remarks, sir, by Mr. Bargani Bharatram. Closing remark.
So finally, he's just trying to escape from this incident. When Mr. Sahai has clearly mentioned the town do have around 50,000 of population, more or less. When 15 to 20,000 people are gathering, where is the
Mr.
intelligence
Bharat,
for the police?
All right.
Listen to me.
In
listen to me.
Vijayawada
Where is
there
the
are
intelligence?
15 lakh.
See,
In
where
Vijayawada
is
there
the
is
intelligence for
there
these
is a
police
population of
department?
15
Don't they
lakh.
think that
Do you
this many
expect
people
for
are
every
coming?
temple
So,
20 to
do
30,000
they
people?
All
want
right.
any kind
Mr.
of
Pattabhiram,
invitation
let
for
him
all
please
these things?
speak,
No,
sir.
that is
Let
not
him.
correct.
Should take the
That is not
responsibility,
correct.
and this government should take the
See,
responsibility and
as we are
accountability for this.
responsible,
And
we
they
being a
are not
responsible government,
entitled.
we are
They are
attending to the
All
situation.
right. Gentlemen, I'm unfortunately very short on time. I have to close this debate, but fact simply remains that 9 people have lost their lives. And why is it that we have these excuses despite the fact that there has been a repeat of such stampedes? Why is it that we do not learn our lesson, and the governments and the police that conveniently distances itself, stating one reason or the other? On that note, I want to thank you all for joining in and watching this show.